Everyone, welcome to chemistry class. I am Shanabasappa Sagar. I hope you watched my previous videos, that is balancing chemical equation and types of chemical reactions, which we discussed in a previous class. Uh, Previous class we learnt about the types of chemical reactions, in that combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement and double displacement, and even precipitation reaction. These we learnt in previous class. Today's class we are going to learn about the exothermic and endothermic reactions and oxidation reduction, that is redox reactions. So before going to learn the exothermic and endothermic reactions, some more concept about these four types of reactions which we discussed earlier. Let us recap once with some more examples. So let us recap combination reaction. What is the definition of combination reaction? The reactions in which two or more elements or compounds combine together to form a single compound are called combination reactions. You know that the reactions in which two or more elements combine, see here, two or more elements or reactants, when they combine together to give a single product or single products. So this type of reactions we call as combination reactions. For example, first one, when water and oxygen combine, hydrogen and oxygen combines, it gives a water molecule. Hydrogen plus oxygen to give water, it is also a combination reaction. Reaction of carbon with oxygen means when carbon heat in presence of oxygen, it gives carbon dioxide, it is also a combination reaction. Iron with sulfur, when heated iron crystals, iron with sulfur in presence of sulfur will get iron sulfide, that is iron 2 sulfide, we may say, ferrous sulfide, ferrous which I told you plus 2 valency and ferric plus 3 valency. Hydrogen plus chlorine, when they combine with each other, it gives hydrogen chloride, it is also a combination reaction. And nitrogen and hydrogen, when they combine with each other, it gives ammonia. NH3, I told you ammonia. NH4 is ammonium. So this is also combination reactions. These are the examples of combination reactions where two or more elements combine together to form a single compound. So next type of chemical reaction which we learned in previous class, that is decomposition. The reactions in which a single compound breaks down to give two or more simple substances are called decomposition. Even we discussed that in previous class, that decomposition reactions are the opposite of combination reactions. In earlier class, we learned about the decomposition of iron sulfate and those types, decomposition of heat, decomposition of light and decomposition of electricity. Some more examples we are going to learn here. If the decomposition occurs by heat, we will call as thermolysis or thermal decomposition reaction. If the decomposition occurs by electricity, we will call as electrolytic decomposition. And if the decomposition occurs by light, we call as photolysis or photoelectric decomposition. See some more examples which I gave you here. The reactions in which a single compound breaks down to give two or more simple substances. A single compound breaks down to give two or more simple substances will call as decomposition reactions. It will decompose a single reactant into many products. So example, first one, decomposition of limestone by heating. When you limestone, I told about limestone in a previous video, how to form limestone. In quicklime, if you add water, we'll get calcium hydroxide, that is slaked lime, and that slaked lime when reacts with moisture, it means CaOH2, when reacts with carbon dioxide presence in the environment, we will get CaCO3. So this is limestone. So this limestone we can decompose the limestone, so it is in solid state, we can decompose into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide again. So this is also decomposition reaction by heating, thermal decomposition. And even decomposition of zinc carbonate into zinc oxide and carbon dioxide gas. So carbon dioxide gas, it is also decomposition by heat, means thermal decomposition example. And two more examples I am showing you here. Electrolytic decomposition of alumina. Al2O3 is nothing but alumina. The formula of Al2O3 is alumina, and this is in a molten form. So this molten alumina, when decompose, when you heat the molten alumina, it gives aluminium metal and oxygen we will get. So it is a balanced equation which you are seeing. In previous video we learnt about in electrolytic decomposition we learnt electrolytic decomposition of water into hydrogen and oxygen. This is also electrolytic decomposition where alumina splits up into aluminum and oxygen. And even this is also a decomposition decomposition of electricity, decomposition of sodium chloride by sodium and chlorine. It is also electrolytic decomposition where not only water splits up, even sodium chloride also, when you add in a container or when you kept in electrode, it also decomposes into sodium and chlorine, Na plus and Cl minus, like H2 plus O2. So it is also decomposition of molten alumina, sodium chloride into sodium and chlorine gases. Chlorine is a gas again here. Okay, this is about decomposition reaction. Some more reactions which we learnt here. Next, third reaction is displacement reaction. The reactions displacement means the reaction in which a more reactive metal displaces less reactive metal from its compound. A more reactive metal, always a more reactive metal displaces less reactive metal, and I gave you in the previous video about the reactivity series, that is how the reactivity series you should write according to reactivity series. Potassium is greater than the sodium, sodium is greater than the calcium, calcium is greater than the magnesium, like this, and magnesium is greater than the aluminum. Means reactivity series decreases when you go down the group. Here potassium is bigger, sodium is lesser than that, calcium is lesser than sodium, magnesium is lesser than calcium, and aluminum is lesser than magnesium. And below aluminum you will get zinc and all. So here zinc, below aluminum, below zinc will get copper and all. Okay, reactivity series which I gave you just once you see the reactivity series. Zinc plus copper sulfate, zinc is here and copper is very low. Zinc copper sulfate, is it able to displace the copper? Yes, because it is high reactivity series, copper is not listed here, so copper is in low reactivity series, but zinc is here below aluminum only, the zinc is there. So zinc easily displaces copper and it forms zinc sulfate, ZnSO4 plus copper displaces easily. It is a single displacement where one reactant is always compound and one is an element always. And one more example, Fe2O3 iron oxide which is in solid state, when react with aluminum, or this we learn in next classes even. Iron oxide when reacts with aluminum, it gives aluminum oxide and molten iron. So this molten iron liquid I written here, Fe in liquid form, B means this iron will be in the liquid form. It is used to join the railway tracks and cracked machine parts. See, welding and all, we saw that there will be a liquid, there will be added to join the metals. So here the displacement reaction works because iron is more reactive than the aluminum. See, here aluminum is there. Aluminum is more reactive than the iron. Aluminum is 4/5 most reactive element. This aluminum can easily displace iron because iron below the zinc iron will form. Then it forms aluminum oxide and iron. So aluminum is lower reactive than the iron is lower reactive than the aluminum. That's why it will leave the place. If iron is strong than the aluminum, then it won't leave that place. You understand, students, what is the displacement reaction? Who is stronger, he can displace as a weak person. Means here iron is a weak person, aluminum is very strong, so aluminum can easily displace the iron. And in the first equation also, zinc is very strong than copper. That's why zinc has displaced the copper and it acquired the place. Next, third example, magnesium plus copper sulfate. So magnesium is here only, the fourth highest reactive element. Copper still it is least reactive. Easily it displaces the copper, it can kick the copper from the place. So it will get magnesium sulfate plus copper deposits, copper separates. And copper reacts with AgNO3. Copper below the copper will get copper is least reactive than the silver is least reactive than the copper. So that copper can displace silver easily. Copper when reacts with silver nitrate, it gives copper nitrate CuNO3 taken twice plus silver. Next, lead. Below the zinc will get lead. Zinc and iron will get lead. Below the iron will get lead. So lead when react with copper chloride, it easily displaces the copper because lead is highly reactive in the copper. It forms lead chloride and copper. So these are the examples of displacement reactions where one element means a strong element or high reactive element or most reactive element displaces a less reactive element or a weak element. Next type of chemical reaction, that is double displacement, which I discussed in the previous class, but some more examples I am giving you here. Displacement reactions definition, as a definition saying, it displaces it will displace, double displacement occurs here, the reaction in which two different atoms or group of atoms are exchanged, or we can say the exchange of ions takes place in between them. See, barium chloride, first reaction, Ba plus and Cl2 minus, Na2 plus SO4 minus. So both will exchange this ion, means this barium will take this cation, anion, this sodium will take this anion, means barium sulfate and sodium chloride we will get. And this barium sulfate we can show with the downward arrow mark because barium sulfate is a precipitate. Barium sulfate is a precipitate, a white precipitate. It is a white precipitate. Keep in mind, students, white PPT will get, and you saw the video also in previous class. Same one more decomposition double displacement reaction. Silver nitrate AgNO3 when reacts with sodium chloride. See here also Ag is a plus, NO3 is minus, Na is plus and Cl is minus. So exchanges ions plus minus plus minus, AgCl, Ag and this Cl, AgCl and NaNO3. AgCl nothing but silver chloride, NaNO3 is nothing but sodium nitrate. Here silver chloride AgCl is a white PPT. It is also a white PPT. When you add a silver nitrate in a sodium chloride, you will get a PPT of silver chloride. So two precipitation reactions we saw here, barium chloride, barium sulfate and silver chloride. See, all precipitation reactions we can say that as double displacement reactions, but all double displacement reactions are not precipitation reactions. Here we got barium sulfate and AgCl as a precipitate here, but in this this is a double displacement reaction where precipitation not occur here. Sodium hydroxide when combines with HCl, it gives sodium chloride aqueous solution and water. Aqueous solution we get. Aqueous solution means the solution which is dissolved in water, we call as aqueous solution. NaOH plus, Na plus and OH minus, H plus and Cl minus. So easily exchanges ions NaCl and H2O. So it is also double displacement reactions, but this is not a precipitation. This is not a precipitation reaction, not precipitate. So that's why I told you, if they ask a question in exam, all double displacement reactions are precipitation reactions. Is it true? No. All precipitation reactions are double displacement, but all double displacement reactions are not precipitation reactions. Next, fourth one, CuSO4 means copper sulfate plus H2S, we will get copper sulfide and sulfuric acid. So here in this reaction, copper sulfate is a blue color, blue vitriol, we will call this as a blue vitriol. Blue vitriol we will call. Copper sulfate is nothing but blue vitriol because it is a blue in color, blue vitriol. This blue vitriol reacts with the hydrogen sulfide we will get copper sulfide and sulfuric acid. See, this copper sulfide again is a precipitation reaction. We will get a black PPT. So both above we got a white PPT, but here copper sulfide will get precipitation as a black.